Firstly, how have you settled into Dresden this week?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been very hot, but a lovely city. So far so good. I think we've been out training a couple of times, and we're all settled in.
In many ways, was it just good to get the first game against Mexico out of the way?
Yeah, I think so. We've been building up a long time to play that game, and I think it was a lot of pressure, a lot of emotions, a lot of adrenaline running. So it was good to get the first game under our belt. Obviously, not the result that we would have wanted, but to take a point from the first game, you've got to be happy rather than no points at all. So it means that we go into the next two games knowing what we've got to do.
So looking ahead to the New Zealand game, are you expecting a different type of challenge to the one you faced against Mexico?
Yeah, I think slightly different. I think obviously we both want to win the game, so I think it'll be a little bit more open. I think having played the first game, those sort of pre-tournament nerves are probably a bit settled, as will New Zealand be. But they are a different proposition to Mexico. Quite aggressive, work rate phenomenal. So we're expecting them to sort of be more like a high-pressured game. So rather than Mexico set off, I think they'll kind of put us under a lot of pressure.
I'm hoping it's not an opening game from a defensive point of view. Being a defender, we need to shut up shop. But I think they'll go for it, and we've definitely got to go for it. If I'm honest, we had to win the next two games regardless of the first result anyway to top the group. So nothing's changed from our standpoint.
What did you make of New Zealand's performance against Japan?
Yeah, I've watched it a couple of times now. As I said, their work ethic is very high. They're very competitive, work very, very hard. The conditions were very hot, and they seemed to manage to run for 90 minutes against Japan, who are a very technical side. So, I mean, they're unfortunate not to get something out of the game, but that's the nature of tournament football. You can work really hard, and it doesn't quite work in your favour, but they're a good side. It will be very, very competitive.
So do you see this as a must-win game?
Mustn't lose game, certainly, but obviously, as I said before, we try and win every game, so this will be no different.
And does that mean you might set the team and formation out differently?
Probably not, no. Might be a few changes, but we'll wait and see.
Now that you've had a chance to reflect, what will you be doing differently against New Zealand?
I think we need to relax a little bit, just play our game. I think, for the first 25 minutes against Mexico, there was only one team in it, and that was us. I think once they scored, we let it rattle us a little bit, and we can't let that happen, because we're too good a team to concede a goal and let it rattle us in that way. So we need to stay positive. I think it's very important we try and keep a clean sheet, and we need to get goals, obviously.
One of the comments you made after the Mexico game was that we didn't necessarily take our chances. Is that something you've been working on in training this week?
We did a little sort of shooting practice just to get that sort of confidence level up again. I think the girls really, really wanted to do that. Hopefully we'll do better in front of goal. They looked really sharp in the practice. The balls were flying in the net as opposed to past the net, which is always a good sign. So we'll wait and see. I mean, it's crucial that you get very few chances in front of going international football, so when you get the chance you really need to bury them, and that's what we need to do for the next game.
The players were allowed to train in the stadium the night before the game. How does that help prepare mentally?
It makes a big difference, because you can get a feel for the pitch, you can get a feel for the stadium. We go in the change rooms, we have a look around, so it's not a shock when you get there on match day. So we know what we're doing, and we're training there tonight, and we're looking forward to it so that we can prepare for tomorrow.
And the players in good spirits at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. We've been having a laugh around the hotel. We've been training hard. We had 2 sessions yesterday. We'll train hard again tonight prior to going out there against New Zealand. And I think everyone's buzzing just to be part of the World Cup. But we haven't come here to make up the numbers. We've come here to do a job, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get 3 points.